everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Mariana, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my March anime favorite. And I was going to do an overall March favorites video, but I realized some people just want to see anime and others might want to see the beauty and the skincare and everything else. So I thought, why not do two videos? That way I can target all aspects of this channel in two videos, which is great. So my favorite anime during the month of March was actually recommended to me by two fellow YouTubers, Siege Speaks and Art is by Beauty. I'm gonna leave all their information down in the description box below. Please check them out. They're both really cool and amazing. Siege Speaks does incredible artworks, and he also has a Twitch channel. So if you guys are on Twitch, then definitely check him out. And Art is by Beauty also does really gorgeous artworks as well as makeup tutorials and videos to help you think more positively. Her channel is a really uplifting place to be. So please check them out. All their information is in the description box down below. So my favorite anime during the month of March was Samurai Champloo, and it is not a new anime. It's been out since 2004. I don't know why it took me this long to watch it, but I finally have, and I really liked it. It's directed and written by the same person who directed Cowboy Bebop, who is Shinichiro Watanabe, and knowing how successful Cowboy Bebop was and that it's a cult anime, I kind of had really high expectations going into the show. I wasn't disappointed. It was really good. Okay, so this is your warning now. In case you haven't seen the show and you don't want to see any spoilers, this video that you're watching right now is going to contain a ton of spoilers, like many spoilers. So in case you don't want to spoil the show for yourself, then please check out any of my other videos. I will probably link something right here, and yeah, please leave a like. Thank you. But if you have seen the show and don't mind the spoilers, then keep watching. Okay, so let's get into the storyline first. The entire series is set during the Edo period in Japan, but it's kind of like an alternate reality Edo period. But in case you're unfamiliar with the Edo period, then it is a time when the social structure was very defined, and the differences between the social classes in Japan were really distinct, and the samurai had their own class. But instead of fighting off attacks from outsiders, they practiced it more as an art form. They practiced their samurai skills as an art form. There was also a lot of economic development, so some social classes really started to take part in various art forms, such as the kabuki theater, or geishas, or just painting. You guys are probably familiar with this painting by Hokusai. It's called The Great Wave of Kanagawa, and this was created towards the end of the Edo period, and it was really a good time for art. Art and culture really flourished during this time period in Japan. So this time period alone makes it a really vibrant setting for the show, and although Samurai Champloo is supposed to be set in this era, there's like a twist on it. There's like a weird twist on it with hip-hop and Western influences, and it just makes it more interesting in my opinion. So the storyline follows three main characters, and we start with Fu, who is this young girl, and she just goes about her daily life working in a tea shop where a group of, let's just call them bad samurai, kind of abuse their privileges and make her life really difficult. And while all of this goes on, a guy called Mugen shows up, and this guy looks rough, like he's a bit of a rogue, a bit of an anarchist, and he starts to barter with Fu, and he says to her, you give me 50 dumplings and I'll take care of these guys for you. So a chain of events follows, and it breaks out into this huge fight because the guys, the bad samurai, keep threatening Mugen with the badasses, like these really bad guys who are known as the badasses, and that made me laugh so much, the fact that they were referring to them as badasses. But of course Mugen defeats them because he has this savage fighting style, and he's just uncontrollable when he fights. And he says to the magistrate's son, who is like the leader of this gang, you bring me the badasses because I want a proper opponent, I want a challenge. And this is where we meet Jin, our third protagonist, and he just happens to come across this little tea shop. All he wants is to drink some tea. I mean, bless his heart, all he wanted was to relax for the day. But he walks in and Mugen accuses him of being a badass, and a huge fight breaks out. Like, this chain of events was just so funny to watch. It's very rare that an episode kind of grabs me straight away from, episode 1, but this did, because it was just funny watching it all unfold. So as Mugen and Jin fight for no proper reason, it's like Mugen challenged him and Jin just went, okay, I'll fight you. But as they fight, they basically burn down the entire tea house to the ground. In the process, killing the magistrate's son. The next thing we know is that they are about to get executed, which leads us back to Fu, who comes up with the plan to rescue them and save them from the execution. So in return for this favor that Fu did for them, she asks them not to kill each other and instead become her muscle as she goes in the search of a samurai who smells of sunflowers. And that is the main goal of the show, to find the samurai who smells of sunflowers. But you kind of forget that that is their objective, because the show it's not very linear. It's almost winding in its plot line, because some episodes focus on the samurai who smells of sunflowers, but others go completely off on a tangent and you forget that that is their objective. But that is basically where the story begins, and we follow Jin, Mugen and Fu in their adventures as they travel throughout Japan. There's also this little flying squirrel who pops up occasionally, and I think he's like Fu's companion, and it just adds a little cute adorable touch to the storyline. One of the reasons why I liked Samurai Champloo so much is probably why I liked Devilman Crybaby so much, because it seemed to blend the hip-hop and the rapping style with a completely different genre of entertainment, but it did it really, really well. To me, the rapping and the soundtrack didn't seem out of place at all. It actually, I feel, added to the series. It gave it a certain chill vibe, which I really liked. And the soundtrack of Samurai Champloo is amazing on its own, but when combined with the anime, it just creates something really unique, and it's just really good and I really like it. I also really liked how the show has this almost satirical commentary on the Edo period, as well as some Western influences. For example, there is a whole episode on graffiti tagging, and it was really interesting to see how they incorporated that into that time period and that culture. But by the end of the episode, I didn't even question it, because it blended so well together with the series, I just accepted it. There's also a lot of humor in the series. Some of the situations the characters get themselves into are so ridiculous. Most of the time, it's at the fault of Jin and Mugen, and Fu is the one who has to deal with the consequences. She gets kidnapped, she gets sold to a brothel, she gets threatened, and it's just really entertaining watching this all unfold and then them come together at the end to rescue her and get out of the situation, which most of the time is fighting and then running away. And despite all this happening, there's also this weird sense of friendship between the three of them, even if they deny it. Like throughout the entire series, I just sat down and I was like, I friendship this so much. Like, I just want them to remain friends. I also really liked how the characters were vastly different from each other. Mugen is such a rogue, he's such a brutal, savage character, and Jin is this very, very stoic, almost elegant character who has a very specific technique to his sword skills, and Fu is this girl who just wants to find the samurai who smells of sunflowers. I just think it makes the dialogue so much more interesting. Like, I didn't get bored watching this anime at all. I was entertained at all times, and I feel like it had such a nice chill vibe to it that it was easy for me to watch it. Even when really violent things were happening on screen, I still found it very, very easy to watch. There are also really sad episodes. For example, one where Jin fell in love with the woman who works in the brothel. And I think those kind of episodes do really well for character development. We get to see a side to a normally very stoic, very elegant character that we haven't seen before, because Jin is such a strong, stoic character. To see him in a position which makes him look vulnerable, it was really sad. Like, that episode made me really, really sad. The only slight downside to this anime that I spotted was the fact that some episodes seemed so random in their pacing that they really made you forget about the actual storyline. Remember when I said how we often forget the fact that they're looking for the samurai who smells of sunflowers? Well, the anime kind of goes off on a tangent. You have these really fast-paced episodes filled with action, and then suddenly the next episode will be completely aimless. Like, the vibe changes, the pacing changes, and you truly forget the objective of the whole storyline, and it really does feel a little bit like a filler. Like, they're not bad fillers, they're still very good, it's just they're not as good quality-wise as some of the other episodes. But aside from that, I still think it's a very, very good anime. It's not as emotionally draining as Devilman Crybaby. I don't think many animes are as emotionally draining as Devilman Crybaby. So if you guys are looking for a new anime to check out and you haven't seen Samurai Champloo, then definitely give it a watch. It is very, very good, especially if you've already seen Cowboy Bebop and you enjoyed it, then you will probably like this too. I'm kind of on the lookout right now for my next anime to watch, so I can do one of these videos at the end of April. If you guys have any suggestions, then please let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. This poster is killing me. Please just stay stuck to the wall. What is your problem, Kaneki? I forgot to put the microphone in. Well, this video would have sounded like shit.